blood, mucus, and now organs. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Rts Share Tea, where respiratory therapists live out loud. With me, your host, Linda Frott, the Asthma Lady. Yes, welcome everyone. Welcome to anyone new. And today we have another amazing guest co-host, blood, mucus, and now organs. Today we have Mr. Terrence Brock sharing the tea on his passionate career as an organ transport coordinator. Hi, Terrence.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Good, good, good. We are so happy to have you, and we are ready to hear this tea.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so guys, I'm going to read his bio and then I'm just going to let Terrence take over the show. Okay. Okay. Terrence Brock is a father, a son, a husband, a respiratory therapist, an organ transport coordinator, a public speaker, and the CEO of Badgers Health Care. Yes, CEO. His journey in healthcare began as an EMT. He later became a respiratory therapist and ultimately advanced to a certified procurement transport coordinator and CEO. At Badgers Healthcare, they are dedicated to educating and empowering communities about organ donation. Their mission is to bridge the gap in understanding and awareness through care, compassion, and integrity. They stand to provide clear and accurate information about the donation process, ensuring that individuals and families have the knowledge they need to make informed decisions when choosing to say yes to donations. I hear that, Terrence. Okay. Yeah, and once again, we are so happy to have you. Yay! All right, Terrence, let's get to the show. All right, so I asked every guest co-host, how did you get into respiratory therapy? How did you find it? Was it somebody specific that told you about it? Give us the tea.
So, the way that I got into finding out about respiratory therapists, it was with the beginning journey of my emergency medical technician or EMT.
DT.
I was on the truck for quite a few years. I think I was approaching maybe my fifth year,
Okay.
and my partner and I was dropping off a patient and seeing this gentleman coming in with a ventilator, and I looked. I was like, "Man, what's that? What are you doing?" And he told me, he was like, "I'm a respiratory therapist." Once again, what are you
Mm.
doing? What is that?
Right.
I never heard of it because I thought that the hospital ran on doctors and nurses. Like that's
Mm.
all that I knew of. And so
Right.
he explained it and he was like, "Man, you could do this." And at that time, representation wasn't everything
Mm-hmm.
to me. I knew nothing about it. I didn't believe it. And so I saw him and then I was like, well, maybe I can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a history of having asthma, been had it since I was a kid. So that thought even didn't pop in my head, like who takes care of me when I'm having an asthma attack? So
Right.
it took for that moment for that gentleman at that treatment facility who was at that hospital with the ventilator told me that, hey man, you can do this. And of
Okay.
course, then I kind of fell down that path of, well, maybe I can. Let me see what my prereqs are. And
Okay.
once I jumped in, it was amazing. I've been loving it. That's my respiratory journey was literally someone else seeing in me that, hey, you can do
Seeing it.
this.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. So at least, right, you saw the role before you actually did it. So
Right,
that's
right.
cool. Okay. Okay. So from there, walk us through what got you now into organ transport, being an organ transport coordinator. Like how did you find that role? What sparked your interest? Like walk us through that.
Got you. So I was working full time at Texas Children's Hospital here in Houston, Texas,
Okay.
and working in the ICU, working in the PCU. But on this particular day, I was in the ICU. We had a patient who ended up being an organ donor, and the
Okay.
coordinator was there. And everyone kept referring to the coordinator. She wasn't a physician that I knew. And I was
Okay.
like, well, who is this person? Why everything has been, hey, go talk to her, go talk to her. I was like, okay, I guess go talk to her. And so I asked her, I was like, so they told me I have to talk to you with ventilator changes. And I asked her, what is
Mm-hmm.
this position called? And she was like, it's a transplant coordinator. I was like, transplant coordinator. And I was like, we asking you about ventilator changes, medication,
Mm-hmm.
about if we have to run a code, what that's going to look like. And she was like, yes, I'm the one who makes all those decisions. And I coordinate all of that. I was like, man, I might can do that too. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
just maybe that can fit. And so she gave me a business card. Still to this day, I have her
Okay.
business card, and
Okay.
I applied for the job. I got an interview, and I probably saw her maybe a month later. And I told her, I was like, hey, I applied, I got in. And she was like, which now you get to see how deep the rabbit hole is. And I was like, what you talking about? From what I
Okay.
saw, you was just making these decisions and whatnot. And lo and behold, once I got in, it was just this, you got to do this, you got to coordinate this, you got to call this person. The physicians
Okay.
kind of walk away, it's all you.
It's all
So
on you.
my journey, it taught me being a transplant coordinator going to that, you got to know the left side of the bed, the right side, and
Mm.
the head of the bed. You don't just to get to step back and be like, I don't know how to do that. So
Right.
I literally came into it that way by watching someone and was like inquiring. It's just that inquisitive mind of, what is this? What are
Curious.
you doing? Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was always that role to me, I was always curious about too, as a because I started as a ER therapist. I was on
Okay. Okay.
I was on the trauma team. So I too would see transplant coordinators and but I never had the opportunity to strike convos with them because I was night shift and
Hmm.
it's just things were fast, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the respiratory where we short. So you know what
Mm.
that means. You everywhere.
You everywhere. You
So
going over here? You going, and you got a
yeah.
floor. Go get that
Do
floor
you
too.
understand what I'm saying? So I never had the time, but I always wondered because like we said, we would see them, especially like we had a lot of MVAs,
Okay.
motor vehicle accidents,
Okay.
and that's when we would see them when, sometime it would be like younger patients, but I always wondered. So it's good. That's why I wanted you to have someone like you on, someone who's
Hmm.
passionate about this career and to
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
about it.
And most time it is that way because it's with my job, I do a lot of educating. And the educating
Oh,
is because no one really knows.
right,
Even with
right.
as being a respiratory therapist, we don't really know that we can even go into that field because no
Yes.
one talks about it. It's like you work in a hospital, you do home health care, or you do a sleep lab. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, what else can I do? So when you
Mm-hmm.
find out that there's something else, it's like, oh yeah, let's go try this. I'm gonna see what I could do.
I love that you are sharing this tea because it's like I didn't even think about this as a respiratory therapist, as a another like branch career path
Hmm.
that we can go into. So I'm very happy we having this conversation once again. Okay, so now let's talk about like the steps. Like what
Okay.
once you got in, like you said, you interviewed. Did you have to take any additional training, coordination certificates? Was there anything else you had to add in addition?
Most definitely. So, with you coming in as an RT or an RN, you have to learn the other side of the bed. Even if you come
Okay.
in as a paramedic, you have to know, once again, the left, the right, and the head of the bed. So, a lot of it is on the job training. They're training you up,
Okay.
and you're leaning heavily on the knowledge that you already have. That way, you
Okay.
don't have to, I don't know, have to learn how to handle a vent. I already know
Right.
that. So
Okay.
now I can focus more on the medication side, or I can focus on
Mm.
what we would do if we're running a code, from the head of the bed.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you get a lot about 3 to 6 months of training, depending on which OPO, which is organ procurement organization that you're
Okay.
with. So they would do between 3 and 6 months of training. Some may be a little bit longer if your role is more hands-on and you're doing a lot of the work yourselves. Some
Okay.
of the OPOs, the nurses in the hospital take a step back and
Okay.
you step forward with spiking your medication, handling your ventilator, pulling meds. You do all
Okay.
those things. So if you're going to do all of that, then your training is probably going to be 6 months, maybe 9 months, just to make
Okay.
sure that you're getting it. And one of the
So,
CMOs, go ahead.
okay, go ahead. I was gonna say, so you're saying like you're a one man, one woman show. It's just you by yourself at that point. And
Absolutely.
then of course that would
Absolutely.
come with additional training.
Absolutely.
I
You
see.
are there. You pretty much run the show as if you are a physician assistant. You have someone that you
Mm,
can reach out to via phone, but
okay.
you have your donor management guidelines that are there that lets you know pretty much like the physicians are. If my numbers are in this range, this is what I
This
need
is
to
what I
do. If
do.
it's in this group,
Okay.
I do this right here. And you work hand in hand very closely with your respiratory therapist, with your registered nurses that's in the ICU that's
Okay.
there, that because that's still their ventilator. You know, we
Right,
always say
right.
we're a guest in the house. So that's your
Correct.
ventilator. These are your pumps. If you're okay with me
Mm-hmm.
touching them, I'll touch them. If not, then hey, I'll just call. Hey guys, we need to do this. We need to make some changes.
So and this is just for my FYI. So it seems like this role also has a lot of you have to have a lot of emotional intelligence working with the
Yes.
team. You got
Yes.
to be a people person.
Yes. All of those things. You
Yeah,
hitting the
yeah.
nail on the head. You hitting the
Okay.
nail on the
I would
head. You
imagine.
It's not, I would say this is a great role for many people who've been in the field for a while that has an open mind. I
Okay.
would not suggest this role to someone who's freshly coming out of school
Right.
because you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to get your footing.
Mm-hmm.
And with this role, you have to have at least 2 years of ICU experience
Experience. Okay.
before even applying. And then you
Gotcha.
can, once you're in there, you can sit for your certified procurement transplant coordinator license or certificate, which
Okay.
kind of gives you those letters behind your name. So when you do move
Okay.
around, everybody knows like, oh, that
And
person knows what they're talking about.
can you drop the letters? What is the letters when someone has a certificate?
CPTC.
EPTC. Okay, that's
C.
good too.
CP.
ECP. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
CPTC, and that stands for Certified Procurement
Procurement.
Transplant Coordinator.
Nice. Okay. All right. You dropping T. Okay. Okay.
Just a little bit, just a little
So,
bit.
okay. So, all right. Because that's what I hear especially when I hear, because I have coordinated a lot of stuff. And I know when you coordinate anything, it could be a birthday party. You have to
Hmm.
really know just how to work with people and just how to talk to folks and just how to execute. So yes, I love
Right.
it. Okay, so now, okay, you giving us an idea about this role.
Hmm.
Give us a day in the life. Like, what are your settings? Like, where are you mainly? How do you start? You wearing a suit or you wearing a t
Gotcha.
like what do we look
Gotcha.
like? Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm gonna give you two settings. They
Hmm.
pretty much work hand in hand, but they're a little different. So before, like right now, I'm a full-time traveler as well as public speaker. So I don't work just here in Texas. I
Okay.
go as far as the East Coast,
Oh,
Ohio, Massachusetts, Maine, and I go all the way down to the West Coast. I go to California, Florida. I cover the whole United States right now.
okay. Okay.
So as a full time, if you just worked at one place, your day would look like you're getting a call or a text message probably 2 hours before your shift on which
Okay.
hospital you're going to go to and where that donor is
Oh,
located. You would arrive there, get your bedside report, and then you will go ahead and decide on if you have to draw blood, all your specimens that you're sending out for HLA testing,
okay.
serologies, infectious disease testing.
Okay.
Once you get those things taken care of, you'll go ahead and move forward with putting in orders. If it is a brain dead donor, you put the orders in yourself. If it's not
Hmm.
a brain dead donor and it's someone who family wants to withdraw life support on, and they will be considered our DCD donors, donation after cardiac death. So the
Okay.
hospital takes care of living patients. We as transplant coordinators, we take care of deceased patients. So we don't put orders in physically for those patients.
Deceased
The
patient.
hospital does.
Okay.
Uh, Once you're at that part, you got your orders in. So now you're looking at doing to your like your physical assessment, checking to see if there's any type of IV drug use, any type of cancerous things that may be on his skin, cancer, mold, suspicious activity, things of that sort. And then you'll continue on with your your management of the donor, working up
Okay.
each organ, figuring out if the lungs are good, heart are good, if you're going to do
Okay.
echoes, EKGs, CTs, abdominal ultrasounds. Once you get through that part, you just continue the case on. And by the time you get through all those things, usually your 12 hours could be up, or you may only get to half of those in a 12-hour shift. And we do 12-hour
Okay.
shifts,
Okay.
majority in the country. At times, if you're on more of the East Coast, you can do 24s. There's quite a few OPOs that do 24-hour shifts.
What that mean? 24?
Oh yeah,
As in the whole
you
day?
from 6 a.m.
I'm
to
like, wait.
6 a.m.
I said I know my math. 12 and 12.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
that's the
So
whole
basically,
day.
when you get there, you see that nurse and that RT, that day shift, and everybody's like, "Hey," and they're all chipper, and then
Um,
they go home.
I
But
know,
you
and
don't
then
go
they
home,
come back.
and you
Oh
still be there when they come back the
no.
next day. You're like, "Hey, did you go home?" It's like, "Nah, I've been sitting
Nah.
right here."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I think I do remember that. I would see the
hmm
same like way back when I was in the ER. Okay, that
hmm
makes sense. Okay. All right. And then talk about you said two settings. Did you mention the two
So
settings?
that's the first
First
setting, right?
setting.
So that's just
Okay.
you as a full-time person at one OPO in your state or city.
Okay.
Me as a traveler, I create my schedule. My schedule may
Okay.
be, hey, you're going to Georgia, or hey, you're going to Minnesota.
Wow.
So you go
Okay.
to Minnesota, you arrange your flight, you arrange your car, you arrange your hotel. You get all
Uh-huh.
those things together, you take the flight out, you get to your hotel, and then they contact you, give you an onboarding of that particular OPO. It's kind of like hospital. Each hospital, you can work it as an RT, you know your thing,
Mm.
but you don't know that hospital, the way that
Right.
they want
How
the bow
they
tied on there.
right.
So as a
Their
traveler, you have to
protocol.
be very fluid and be able to be a people person, like you mentioned, because now
Right.
you're going into somebody else's house, somebody
Else's.
else's backyard, and you need to be able to put the bow on it the way that they want to, on
Mm-hmm.
top of the things I mentioned before about the donor management, about calling
Okay.
the facility, arranging the ORs. You even have to arrange flights. We arrange flights for teams to
Wow.
come in,
It's a lot of
ground transportation
coordination.
with the EMTs and the ambulance crew that picks them up. And even in the
Wow.
OR, we're there throughout the whole process. So from the moment we get a referral at the very begin, when the hospital calls
Wow.
us, we will stay with that patient until that patient is placed into a body bag and placed into the morgue. So it is a very
Mm.
one-on-one type of experience when you have that
Okay.
patient. Like it's almost like a military thing. It's like nobody gets left behind. We're not leaving your family
Until.
member. We're until everything is
Mm-hmm.
done.
Oh, wow. So
And our
on
process usually about 3 days minimum,
Okay,
about three
because
days.
because in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to wrap my head around 24 hours. Okay, so now we're saying 3 days total, basically,
Right.
for
Some
per
places, if you
case.
work exactly. So
Okay,
if I may work day shift, you may work a night shift. So we relieve each other and then
okay,
we'll continue that case on. Unless you have an off date, then somebody else will come in. If it's 24s, you'll do 24 hours on and then you take
okay,
24 hours off and then you'll come back.
okay, okay,
So it just depends
okay.
on how your schedule is because each place is different.
It's different.
And I've touched 15 different OPOs out of the
Wow,
50, I think we have 57 or 52, something like that.
wow.
So
So you know your
left
stuff.
them all in
All
good
right.
places too. How you say, I haven't had anyone say, you know what? Not a good one. We don't want them
Right.
back. Everybody's like, hey man, when you
Okay.
coming back? We appreciate you. So it's been a good experience.
Okay. Excellent. And then when you show up to work, are you like in a three-piece suit? You're wearing like the
You did mention that. So no, you're in scrubs. You're in your
Okay,
scrubs the
so
same way
still
that
scrubs. Okay, got
still
you.
scrubs the whole time because you're working in there. Sometimes you are helping suction your patient. Sometimes you're in there
Okay.
doing maybe a passive leg raise. You're helping
I,
turning. You're doing all those.
okay.
You're getting your hands dirty at
Okay, your
times. So
hands on. Cause
yeah.
I'm thinking cause the ones cause I'm in New York and in New
Okay.
York I remember they were in work clothes. Like it was yeah, they were wearing work clothes and so I remember them in suits. I don't really remember them and maybe I don't know cause maybe like I said, I only saw them during night shift.
Hmm.
So they were right. They were kind of like, and then you clearly knew their presence. It's like, well, who are they? Because they were the like almost like Men in Black or suits. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah, in New York, and if you was in the ER, most of our donors take place in an ICU setting,
Okay.
because the ER, you guys move too
Right,
fast.
right.
We
So
can't
we
we
would
can't do work.
transport, right,
Yeah.
right. Yes. Because
So
I
yeah, most of the
covered
time it would do.
same thing, right? Because I'm talking about my ER time, but I also was in ICU there too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's true. I probably was just mixing the two settings. So okay, this is excellent. So give us a broad, like, what's the pay scale around organ trauma? Give me like the
So
broad scale.
broad spectrum. If you are a person who's working full time, you it's more than you would make as an RT at the bedside.
Okay.
Uh, it is a increase in pay, just depending on more or less
This
where you're located.
the
So
state.
you can
Okay.
make six figures.
Okay.
So six figures is easy in this field here, but it's also just about how you manage your money,
Take
and how you take care of your money, because
yeah.
you can make you can get a salary of, let's just say, 90,000, right?
Hmm.
And you can work two jobs. So now
That's
you
a
got
fact.
two full-time jobs. So now you at 150, 180, depending on what
Right.
that second one is. So you can make, with this job, you can make all the money you want. It's
I
endless.
could see that because especially if you can if you like we said you got the way with people you could work your way
Hmm.
and people like you
Hmm.
you know your stuff and you
Hmm.
already doing your own and you're able to do your own schedule so
Absolutely.
I do see the possibilities to yeah to make that.
But it's you, and also why I say this one here, I wouldn't suggest anyone who's new to RT, any
Hmm.
field coming in, because you have to learn how to engage with people.
I
You have to
you have
understand
to.
corporate world. If you don't
Hmm.
understand the corporate world and you don't know how to,
Hmm.
if I would have got into this as a 21-year-old,
Right.
we wouldn't be talking right now. We
I
wouldn't be talking.
I believe you. I totally do.
So you got to know what to say. You got to have some tact about yourself. You're dealing with people when they're
Right.
at their worst point, so you got to know how to talk to families.
Emotional.
Hmm.
Your emotional intelligence has to be on it. Like
At all
I can
at all
only
times.
imagine you guys to know how to read the room, baby, because
That part. That part.
you know you're dealing with loved one. I even as an RT, like,
Hmm.
and you know, yo, this patient not looking good. Like, you know, you we like, and we towards the end, and you know that family gonna come in the room. It's
Hmm.
I don't, and I say this with everything that I know now. I feel like I don't think school prepared you for that.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like,
Not at all. Not one bit.
I remember just seeing my first set of patient die as an respiratory therapist, and I didn't feel ready, like
Yeah.
prepared with all the adrenaline from ER. So yeah, I would have so that okay, so that's a good follow-up question because do y'all is that one of those like on the field? Do they give you additional training on how to like
So you get that
coach?
training, you get training throughout. So while you're in that time and you're on board and they talk about it, we go through role playing where, because it's different roles. My role is more clinical. We have a
Okay,
family coordinator or family support coordinator, family resource, different titles,
different
different
types.
places, but they're all
Okay,
the same. They are there to support the family. They are the ones that
okay,
have that conversation about donation with the family. So
okay,
me as a transplant coordinator on the clinical side, I don't have that conversation. Maybe 15% of the time I may have that conversation, but
okay,
about 60 to 70% of the time I'm talking to family on the daily basis for work. I'm not
okay,
talking to them as far as getting authorization, but I'm there to hear what they have to say, let them
okay.
know
The
what it's looking like on the
concerns.
clinical side, any concerns they may have, because
Okay.
I'm the face that they're seeing for the
On a
3 days that they're
regular.
coming. Exactly. So
So,
your training does
go
come in the field and in the office setting with role playing.
okay, okay. So, and just so that I make sure I'm understanding, So for you, since you're on the clinical end, you're saying by the time you see the family, they already made the decision to go in
Absolutely.
this direction,
Absolutely.
and then now you're the coordinator, and you just
Absolutely.
got you. Okay, okay.
So
So your team.
it is a team of people. There's people you see,
Okay,
and there's people that's on this team that the family would never see.
okay, like
And
the
they handle
background.
it exactly, very
Oh,
vital roles just in the background that they just don't get to see their faces, but they may hear their
okay,
voice or they may not even hear the voice of that patient, that coordinator. But we have so many different roles, and it's like you can have a whole family that works in at the OPO all in
doing
different
different.
roles.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know there was that many, like just many different categories for you guys. I just thought it was like
Absolutely.
that one, right? Okay, no, you are dropping some tape. Okay, I'm just looking to see if you answered anything. Okay, and I want to say you did say give some advice already, but what advice would you give to an RT that wants to
Mhm.
go, that's considering this path?
I would say become the strongest RT that you can become first, because that way
Mhm.
you already have that underneath, like in your tool belt. You know, you don't
Okay.
want to become someone coming into this field and you're not strong on your ventilator, you're not strong on your
Mm.
blood gases, because
Okay.
you have so much to learn. It's already going to be a learning curve. And also, you're going to have other staff members who are either a nurse, who are a paramedic, who are going to say,
Hmm.
"Oh, you're a respiratory therapist,"
They
and they're
gonna
going to
rely.
lean on
You're
you.
right,
They're
right,
going to
right,
ask you questions. So if you're not ready in 2 years of being bedside, then wait another year, give it 3 years, give it
right.
4 years,
Okay.
because the organ donation world isn't going anywhere.
That's a
So
fact.
my advice is take your time, learn your craft, become an expert in your craft first, and then transition, because when you come on board, you hit the ground running. And some places you'll
Hmm.
get really, really, really good training. And then some places, like it's like a hospital. You may not get the best training, but you have
Okay.
enough to get you out there. And you was like, man, I'm not really strong on my ventilator. These ABGs is kind of,
Right, right,
my
right,
I don't know. I barely passed my cleansales,
right.
and I just it's like, hey, if you might need to slow down. So that's the advice.
Right.
But once you're strong as that RT at that bedside, you didn't had your ER, you didn't had your ICU, pediatrics, you didn't had NICU.
Pretty
All once you
much.
have done everything, then come on
Circle.
over and come get that extra
Okay.
training. Just come on this
What?
side. It's good.
Drop that certificate again. The
Certified procurement
it's
transplant
transparent.
coordinator.
Okay.
But you'll get that after having complete at least a year or two
Be
at the
in the field.
OPO. Yeah,
Got
being
you.
in the field. Because
Okay.
some people come in and
They
sad
make
to
they
say
can't
they
make
get
it.
weeded out. It's like you didn't came on
I
revolving door. You
know.
didn't went on out now. So
Yeah, yeah, you definitely. It's a lot. But I hear your passion. And I think that's what I do is when I get guest co-hosts,
mhm.
I love showcasing these type of roles, especially from someone that loves what they do. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it just I could feel your aura around this. I could tell you
Thank you.
enjoy what
Thank
you
you.
do, you
Thank
good
you.
at it. And yeah, it's always best to get somebody like you to
Thank you.
give the tea.
Thank you.
I love it.
It
And
was
go
I
ahead.
want to cut you. It just popped in my head. I
Go
used to hear
ahead.
people say many, many years ago, well, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I used to be like, I don't know if I do this for free. What you talking about? And so, but now as I'm doing this, it's like, man, I really love what I do. Like,
Right. Me
if you
too.
told me, hey, look, you're gonna have to be a month in the hole on us paying you, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna come to work, but on
Right.
day 32,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
need
need you
my
to make
check.
sure,
I don't need my
but I'm gonna give you the
like, that is
yeah.
funny. I appreciate you. This was really good. So yes. This is your time to plug away. Where can we find you? Do you have anything new going on? Your social media handles, and I'll include all that stuff on the back end too. But drop it.
Absolutely. So right now what we have going on is currently I'm in the stages of writing a book. I know
Okay.
that you are an author, so you know
Yes.
I'm gonna have to lean your way, ma'am. You know.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
I'm
see you.
currently writing a book, almost finished with it.
Okay.
And so we'll
Excellent.
be publishing that, and that's in regards to a little bit of my story and about donation. And
Okay.
currently the book is hitting on all cylinders.
Okay.
You know, we didn't had a couple people just listen to it and a couple people that read it and chimed in, and it was like, this is what's needed in the
It's
community.
necessary.
Uh, it is absolutely necessary because
Hmm.
here at Badgers Healthcare, as you read in the beginning, we are out here to provide education.
Education.
You know, because
Yes, sir.
what families don't know is what's behind the yes.
Hmm.
When you say yes to donation, you mostly know, oh, I checked the box at the DMV and that was it. And I got a little heart or a
Hmm.
little dot on my license. But when you
Right.
ask somebody, well, what's behind that? They don't know. So
Right.
that's where we come in at because a lot of places, a lot of the bigger OPOs, they don't have the time to try and
Hmm.
give all that knowledge to each small individual person.
Individual.
And there need to be someone else who can go ahead and fill those shoes. So
Mm.
Badgers Healthcare is here to fill those shoes, to provide that education so that when mom, grandma, auntie, brother, or even that 19-year-old patient who wasn't expecting to pass away, who
Right.
said yes to donation, but we need to go ahead and let their family know that, hey,
What that
he
look
said
like.
yes, and this is
Yeah.
what's behind that yes, and this is what we can work with you all with throughout there. So
Hmm.
that's what we have right now, and we are providing that education throughout the country. We're
I
speaking
love it.
engagements. We have a couple more that's coming up here in Houston. We can be reached at badgershealthcare@gmail.com.
Okay.
Also, you can reach me at Terrence Brock on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
As far
I'll
as
plug
any other
that.
socials, we don't have anything for Instagram and Facebook. Those we leave that to, you know, who you are when you take off that particular hat
Right, right,
and put on that different hat. So,
right.
but LinkedIn and our email is how we do all of our communication, and it's
Okay.
those two things is where we have the most communication. But we're writing a book, and we have a couple more speaking engagements that we'll be
Excellent.
posting about, and we're trying to get to New York, man. That's
All
on my
right.
list. That's
Listen,
on my list now.
maybe we'll bump into. I've been flown out to Texas. I've been in Texas. I was in Dallas and in Houston last year, so it's cool. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, when you like what you do, people wanna. Yeah,
Absolutely,
as the asthma
absolutely.
lady, they got me all over. So
Hmm.
I listen. I'm cheering for you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for dropping the
Thank you.
tea, and we gonna talk offline because I'm running out of time, but.
You
We
got it.
appreciate you, Terrence. Guys, thank you so much. Terrence dropped the gems here today. So I hope you guys, if you guys are interested in this, in more about these type of topics, you guys will just hang in there with us. We have so much more to come. Please remember that we are growing together. So we are here on both podcast platforms on Wednesdays, and we are on YouTube on Thursdays. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Bye.